March, so that's, we didn't, hang on this. It's tough, there's no meetings, all things.
And it's just been announced.
No, yeah, same.
Okay, so nine.
Yeah, and then there was, what times the PD, that's what was rate, criminal insurance. This based on notes. Meetings in the March 1st. Non-public. You could say it in the regular meetings, so, yeah, in the regular meetings, yeah, that's where you have to put it.
You guys ready? Okay. 6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, first thing I want to do is announce that if you are new on Zoom, or any of you are on Zoom, and you want to talk, you're going to use the chat section and give your name and your full first and last name. Thank you, and send it to Sharon. And
yeah, I just want to make a quick announcement about last night and this night. There was conflict with my work and the selectmen meeting. And we went back and forth a couple times deciding what to do. And that's why we moved the meeting. We could have done it last night. I wouldn't have been available. And that was the way it's been for the last 3 meetings. So apologize for the change, but that's why it happened. So just want to get that out in front of everyone.
all right, next thing on the agenda is the minutes from October 4th, 18th, and September 20th.
I reviewed them all and
I'm good.
we're going to get a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve all 3.
I would say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well done.
Fine, please.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is a revote on the sale of the Cozy Corner property. I guess there was some questions because Dan had stepped out of the room when we voted. And Steve was on Zoom, so we're gonna do the vote over just to make it all legal. So can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the sale of the property.
In a second? You can give me a second.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Okay. Yes. Point of order.
Yeah.
We're talking about the purchase and sale of the remaining. I believe we've already voted on the actual.
No, we did.
Yeah.
So we did vote on it. As Scott just mentioned, though, there was some concern because Dan had to step out of the building when we did make that vote, and I was on Zoom. Dan stepped back in and we did it. We just want to confirm that it was an official vote.
I want to make sure I get the purchase and sale agreement that was the front table.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is lighting and electrical proposal from Liberty Utilities for the town garage and the fire department. You want to talk on that, Ned?
Yes, there are two proposals in front of you, one for the fire department and one for the highway garage. The Liberty Utilities has a 50-50 match with a 0% loan for our side of it. It provides us with a highly efficient LED lighting for both facilities. It also, those LED lights will provide additional lighting within the highway garage. The portion that we would have to pay for the garage is approximately $4,500, and they're providing a 0% loan over many years to pay it back. The cost per month would be approximately $100 and some odd. And basically our savings in terms of electricity would be equal to or greater than our costs for the installation of these new lights and the fixtures. There'll be some new ballasts and some other sundry other items that are included in there. Those are also included in the proposals. Because the highway garage uses so much electricity and so much lighting, their savings is greater than the highway, it's greater than the fire department, but both do clearly make up.
So the $100 a month on the loan is for both or each?
It is for, let me just, it's 104 and 110, so it'd be for each. So it'll be back approximately, say 215,
Okay.
rounding, up a little bit. But still, in terms of the savings, we would make it back on savings over time, fairly.
And there's a deadline on this?
There is a deadline basically of the end of the year. They'd like to get us up and running. Their program started late and they are trying to get people involved, and people have been less than eager to get involved. So
That's the reason. So we need.
I'll make a motion to approve these.
Okay, so we got the motion to approve.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to raise a question regarding this proposal. I've noticed an increase in my electric bill after switching to LEDs. I believe these ballasts utilize more electricity than the current ballasts in use. Has any investigation been done into that?
I don't have nearly the expertise to do that analysis, but I would trust that,
The electric co-op did, or the electric.
yeah, the gentleman from Andrew Hatch from Resilient Buildings Group, I think, would have analyzed that. If you want to look through there,
If you pick up one of the packets.
I did.
Okay.
yeah. He says it won't, and I have to trust his expertise.
Well, their job is to sell us electricity, so.
Actually, he's not with
I might
Liberty.
wanna question it.
Yeah, this particular gentleman is not with Liberty. He is, I believe he's the same gentleman that came to my garage, and what he did at my garage with Harp Electric is they took the square footage accounted for and figured out the minimum amount of ballast that we would need to get them optimal amount of lighting.
I understand that on a zero beginning. However, we're talking about a retrofit here. So what we have now, is it using less electricity than what they're going to put in, or is it going to be using more? I think that's a question that needs to be asked.
He'll be using less electricity once it's installed. That's what the proposal shows. Yeah.
I don't see that. Where would that be?
That chart that's in the background.
There's no further information beyond 2022, and it's showing zeros for the remaining months of the year, so. That doesn't tell us anything except what we're currently using. There's no projection for what will be saved or what will be changed.
Hang on a second. I know there's projections in go to, I'll ask Mr. Hatch for some additional information to see if this is.
So I'd like to ask the board to please amend their motion to suspend the decision.
I would be okay with that, as long as we can get an answer within by the next meeting.
I think we can get an answer within a couple of days, and
You guys okay with that?
I am, as long as we can get an answer.
You
Well,
could amend
before
your,
we
you could
leave
amend
the
your
time.
thing so it says if it's lower, go ahead.
So, yeah, so we need a motion to say that if it does, I mean, that was what I was led to believe, was that it would lower usage and lower cost, because that's what covers for the plan overall.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what,
the
and that's what
basis of
Liberty's
the
going for.
Loan amount. I mean, I appreciate your question. It's a good question. But my understanding, it isn't that I didn't ask that general question, but my understanding was that's the basis for the whole thing, is to give us a lesser energy rate. So that's why I would say.
So
Actually, I can hand you, did you have this page here? Because it has savings is approximately 4,600 per year. Repayment is only 1,200 a year, and it has an outline of kilowatt hours saved per.
What page is that? And then
That is the. There's not numbered, it's the page that looks like that
on both,
on both proposals.
okay, sure. Savings of
okay, I see,
4,600,
yeah.
repayments 1,250.
All right, there you go.
I get a clarification on the payout. We detailed the amount per month and how many months is the payout?
Payout is,
Just say here,
it's over 51 months.
51 months, thank you.
Any other questions on that?
So we're paying them an additional $1,000 because 51 months negates the saving of 4689. And that's just on one building. That's not including the other building. Is that correct?
No matter what, you're gonna have processing fees.
Yes, you will, and I'm looking at the fire department now. And we still have to pay out the 50%. And if we're saving. We're saving 2,800 per year. 5 times. That'd be 4 times, excuse me, let's just do 4 times 2,800 is, nominally, let's call it 5,600, so we're breaking even in the fire department. Whereas in the highway garage, much higher use of electricity.
and then after, so we're breaking even
Yeah.
while we're paying
While
that.
we're paying the
fee.
loan off, yeah,
After the loan goes away,
we're saving.
there should be a saving.
Savings over today's current uses, which could for today's current lighting facilities.
Mhm.
Yeah, under highway, we would save literally the entire loan payment in 1 year.
All right. Any other questions? Town facilities and access and security.
So does the motion stand to approve
Yes.
that? Okay.
So I got the list, we just got it today.
Yeah.
I want to redo it and go through it and come back with recommendations.
Okay, there was one question about, Dan had asked about why were all of the people in the library on there? Because they have varying shifts without the director there, the director's only there part-time. So other people have to get into our offices to the mailboxes and other, facilities. So that's why we have them all in there. They are all allowed that interior back door, but not the exterior back.
Come in through the library.
Yeah, they come in down the stairs in the back door, past the bathroom that way.
All right,
And there are We have eliminated off the bottom of that list in people marked as inactive employees.
Yep.
They're not, it's not on the list. I just want to say that there are people you may know who they used to be on the list. We've bumped them off because inactive means not currently employed by the town of Canaan.
So they're not on this list.
They are not on those lists.
Okay. But as far as we know, the locks have not been, any of the codes have been changed or cut locks, so they still.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if they had access to it before, yes, they would. Just a quick reminder, at least according to one locksmith, our coded locks, at least at the town offices, will only take one code. And there's no way of having, like, I have the similar situation at my house. We can do multiple codes and have the codes that have like a lifespan, so many days, so many hours, things like that. So
We don't have that ability.
we do not, it's not believed that we have that ability, so.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? Even you like to review it and talk about it at the next meeting?
Yeah, and maybe get some, I mean, the locks on my house have multiple codes, maybe put as many codes in. Once. We can have their own code,
Use some upgrading and maybe we'll talk about it.
you know, like I said, at least for that, and I think the town office should be more secure than the others.
I do too. And
Probably the town garage too, but. Let's put some thought to it before we just jump.
Problem with the ambulance too, because when you get a medic on board, there's gonna be drugs in there. There's gonna be people go in and out of that building. Get to this room.
my thoughts on it were just anything with the library personnel, but maybe we can discuss something as we go about their mailboxes being in a different area than the people who have access into the town. That was a thought of mine. And then they wouldn't need access to the second door, and it reduces even more the flow of people in and out.
Only the director of the library should know. Everybody, do they all have that?
They
Yeah,
do.
the director is only there part-time.
Right.
So every shift, there's 2 librarians on. On the day that the paychecks and the packages come, one of them has to come down and get the stuff.
Yeah.
But again, they already would have access if that inner door is unlocked, as we're doing now. We're keeping the outer door locked, the inner door unlocked, so they would be fine anyway.
All right, anything else on that?
Sure.
What about a system that each employee has their own code and you know who's logged in and who's logged out?
So we're talking about
Like-
that. I
like
mean,
that.
they're pretty inexpensive locks now. They're,
Yeah.
you know, smart locks, and you can do that with it. They're pretty easy to
You can
do.
monitor who's come and gone and what times they came in and out.
That's yeah,
Would be, safer, yes, or
right, more secure.
more secure,
Yeah.
or what have you. You know
Yeah.
who's been where when.
Mhm.
So I just don't know if they make a commercial lock, but it may not make any difference at all,
Well,
but.
I was just thinking that because at the post office, we all had ended up with our own codes, but we were on a system with the postal inspector. And they knew
Yeah.
who would come and gone and whatnot.
Right.
But
All good questions. I mean, like I said, I just think it's important.
look
to
into
get-
it.
Get a
some more,
little bit
I
more,
guess.
especially the way things are going right now. in this world, so.
Mhm.
I
We
agree.
have a card entry in
Yeah, I mean,
all kinds of. places.
the key punch stuff is good, because then if somebody leaves, you can just wipe them out of the system. and-
That's what happens.
Same
at
with
post
the
office.
cards.
Right.
Yeah.
We used to take them out. So. We'll look at what's available and go from there. So.
All right.
Budget versus actual. We be at approximately 18. 18% of the, we're actually. If you flip to the very last. At the bottom. We have 22% of the budget left to go, so we're good. Percent. There's a couple of items that are just of no. Wildly, please ignore the ones that are. Thousands and thousands over budget. It just has to do. The account had a budget has been placed there. The biggest place we're running over is on page. Page 4. Grafton County property. Run over. They admit. And that's why. Over. It's about 16%. The other one that's over by a fair amount. At it in color. Or part-time sets because of staff or part-time personnel. On that, there are no changes.
Health insurance. I know it has. When you,
I, yesterday, like soon, I mean, like. May is still not sending out tax rates, so it's a couple of things that are, and if you see my standing up on the back of my neck, there is, yes, it's I'm worried that getting very, very late in the year.
does it look like we'll be able to fund CIP?
Yes, we will be able to fund the CIP,
Has it been readjusted?
even readjusted, yeah, it'll be a pinch, we may have to shuffle things a year or two back and forth, but it will. For I was about to say a bad word, wow, okay. Yeah, tired of this. Get it all done and to fit it all in.
Yeah.
So. They've also been with. Prior lack of maintenance that we need to catch back up on and getting some of the things spun forward. Stuff to get back to